Hey guys, how's everything going? Pray all's well with you guys. Let's see. I thought we would go over this real quick. I am of the belief that technology is the beast that's spoken of in the Bible. AI, D-wave quantum computing, CERN, all that technology. The beast. Who can make war with it? Nanotechnology. We're all. It's technology. Granted, technology is neutral, but no. I mean, it's in the wrong hands. It's too much. It's this godlike power. Um, so how they're able to pull all this off is AI and D-Wave. And so, what is there? Over 350 million people in the United States alone. I would say 95% of them all have cell phones that they carry around, whether they're granted a lot of the elderly well, there actually are a lot of elderly who utilize I'm elderly and I utilize it. So plus all the other smart devices that are listening and watching and tracking. And I believe with D-Wave, it has the capability to process all that worldwide, even so billions, and it could take all that information in and make real-time decisions. So when they put out psyops, when they put out different news reports, it watches our comments, our when we're speaking. Right now, it's not an individual listening to me; it's AI, and it's able to process billions of people, um, and it's constant, and it's ever growing. Can you imagine how much it's able to multiply daily by the minute even? Its intelligence, because it's able to. So let's look at Swarm AI. Now, this is just one company, and I'm certain there's many more, but let's check this out, guys. It's a quick one.
We've talked about the science behind Swarm AI. Now let's talk about the technology. The Swarm AI system has two primary components: the Swarm interface, which is the front-end client, and the AI engine, which is a cloud backend. The Swarm interface is what you see. It's what participants interact with, enabling us to capture their knowledge and wisdom and insight and intuition as they wrestle with an issue as part of a real-time system. Participants are not merely reporting their thoughts and feelings, they're revealing their thoughts and feelings through their behaviors. Of course, it's better to represent it like this, because it's more than just one client, but many clients, all interacting at the exact same time. 20 people, 50 people, 100 people. And all of this data is being processed in real time by the AI engine, which is watching
Billions of people.
the behaviors of every participant, evaluating the strengths of their conviction, the level of their confidence and uncertainty, whether they're entrenched or flexible or ambivalent. This image is called a brain scan because it shows how the AI engine sees the behaviors of all the participants in real time as they wrestle with the issue at hand. The key thing to understand is that this is a system with feedback loops where the behaviors of the people influence the AI, and the AI influences the behaviors of the people. And together they're behaving as an artificial expert that's deliberating like any intelligence would by weighing the alternatives, evaluating the options, making trade-offs, and converging on the best solution for the information at hand. And so this is how we represent the Swarm AI system, with feedback loops between the Swarm clients and the AI backend, creating an artificial expert. But the technology doesn't end there. We've had Swarm AI systems answer over 350,000 questions, generating massive amounts of behavioral data. And we've been doing sophisticated machine learning on those behaviors, enabling us to turn complex deliberations into quantifiable insights. This allows us to have our AI analytics post-processing. This is where we quantify the sentiments, generating what we call a conviction index. This is also where we visualize the output so we can understand not just what the answer was, but why and how and what it means. Let me give you an example of post-processing. Let's say we want to evaluate the sentiment regarding the trustworthiness of media outlets. And let's say we want to compare the New York Times, CNN, Fox News, the BBC. We can ask a Swarm AI system a set of simple questions. For example, which is more trustworthy, the New York Times or CNN? Here you can see the system converging with AI processing on the New York Times by a little. Now, New York Times by a little doesn't seem very precise, but you're looking at the surface features. Behind the scenes is deep deliberation data. And if we ask a range of questions comparing media sources, we'll get deep deliberation data for each one. Now we can run this through our behavioral neural network, which we trained across thousands of swarming sessions. The neural network can determine conviction levels with a high degree of statistical certainty. This allows us to generate intelligence output that looks like this, giving us precise conviction comparisons across the whole set of media outlets. We can compare InfoWars to CNN, to Fox News, to the BBC. And that's just one example of post-processing. We have many techniques for processing the intelligence we generate during each and every swarm session.
Okay, so like you said, that's just one example using which reliable media outlet. You know, good Lord knows what else, but I'm certain pretty much everything. And I do believe with the D-Wave quantum computing, they're able to, with it connected, they're able to process it, and then I'd say pretty much real time come out with, so they know that people are worn out with this thing that's going around. There's the psychology behind it, which Days of Noah covers really good. But they were using that psychology, boy, back in the 20s, 30s, even before that. He covers Edward Bernays and all that. The Tavistock Institute, the Macy Conference, but now with this, and with the technology, or with the psychology that they were able to acquire throughout the years on us, they know us inside and out, and they've been playing us, but now they're able to each individual, and then I would have to say it's like a 99.9% knowledge of the outcome. And I would go as far as to say it knows if I'm telling the truth or not, voice recognition. I'm guessing it can scan irises, so it knows if I'm watching something and if I'm fearful, if I'm aroused, if I'm confused. Your eyes will show that. I mean, it's pretty deep. Now, this isn't stuff I know. This is Thus Thinketh Todd, guys. But we're going to watch a portion of another one. It's another channel's video. Hopefully they don't mind. I'll leave a link to them, and we'll listen to that. So just a second. Okay, guys, this is Michael Lake. I've never heard of him before, and the channel's Into the Multiverse. They seem to kind of run with the crowd of Tom Horn and that kind of group, I guess. which is fine. I think Tom Horn has some good stuff. You know who? It's like this person's a deceiver. This person's I don't know, man. The only thing I know is things are crazy. You know, things are crazy. So, and I do believe AI is running the show, and I do believe AI is the beast. I mean, who could make war with it? It's so let's listen to this real quick, and
because with this predictive software, they know that if we do X, Y, we'll always get you to Z. Mm-hmm. Uh, guys, almost everything right now from our news has been weaponized.
Yeah, that Trump's showing that for sure.
Our TV shows are nothing more than social engineering.
Yeah.
That everything's a psyop, and it's a psyop to control us while they feed the coming singularity. In fact, with the introduction of 5G and the things they're doing now, they have moved the Singular University has moved. They said it was going to be like
2045.
Yeah, it's now like 2027.
Wow.
And every time there's an announcement of new technology, it's getting closer and closer.
Wow.
They're moving around zettabytes of information that are so huge they can't even put it in the cloud. They have semis retrofitted to transport the metadata they're gathering on all of us to feed this thing.
Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah, and that brings up a good question. I'm glad that you sort of already answered it, but how are they storing this information, but also how are they analyzing all this information? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of people, but not as many as of them. Like, how are they keeping track of everything?
That's why you have artificial intelligence.
Oh.
That it's constantly monitoring everything that you do, and it's constantly analyzing it. And the more powerful the computer, the quicker it can analyze. It can go through petabytes of information on you within a matter of a minute or two and calculate exactly what you're doing, where you're going, and what it needs to do to bring your life in line with the New World Order.
Wow.
So it's scary, but when you also begin looking at magnetic fields, and the possibility of magnetic fields and mind control, that's one of the things that's really alarming me for right now.
Yeah, and this is interesting too, because this is something that I wrote about in Abaddon Ascending, that we don't know what consciousness really is, and it might be an interaction in a field. There's a theory called semi theory, CEMI, that it might have something to do with the electromagnetic field, actual consciousness, where if they could manipulate that, or if it is some other quantum field, like a hypothetical cortical field or something, if they can manipulate that, they can actually manipulate what you do, convince you to do things. Well, actually, they could replace your consciousness with another.
Well, I think they're already well past that.
Yeah.
I have patents that I have printed out that I'm analyzing right now that they're using magnetic fields from any type of display, which would be anything from a smartphone to a TV and everything in between. And I think it eventually even go to where the digital display on your vehicle.
Yeah.
That they're altering the magnetic fields to control your behavior. One of the ones I found real interesting, we're in an epidemic right now in America over porn.
Right.
So,
Well,
I didn't get as far as a little bit further back. He was talking a little bit more about that, but yeah, he was talking about having to have semi tractor trailers to store more data that it's accumulating, because I really think it's worldwide, just billions of people, and it's able to kick it out quick, to kick out answers of what direction to go. And let's just say if we do get enough of our fellows to start seeing it, just readjust. It'll just readjust till it finds the next move. And now, as far as he was speaking with the mind control towards the end, the electromagnetic fields and stuff, I totally believe that. To what extent, I just don't know if the Lord's going to allow our free will to be. I mean, I would sure hope not. Obviously, it could affect our behaviors, our mood. Even in the writings of the Theosophists that they get from the fallen angels, they call ascended masters, but most of their writings are channeled to them. and they say they don't interfere with free will. Of course, they manipulate us, absolutely. Um, I think Share International, um, which were channeled to Benjamin Crumb. I can leave a link to that one too. Share International, just tons of articles, and I recall one of them where it was speaking about, the Christian community when the Ascended Masters come. Are they going to accept it? And they've already said, this was in the 80s, I think, when it was, the article was. They said, not at first. And they said eventually, yeah, they're all going to conform. So you leave that up to your imagination of how that's going to happen. But yeah, so yeah, just something to ponder on with the AI. Working on some snares. I got a few in the ground squirrels. I'm just messing around with them. Thing with snares is you don't really want to use them unless you have to, because it's definitely not a humane way to take an animal. You want a nice clean kill, but you almost have to experiment with them. These ground squirrels are holy terrors, so let's try it with them, and we'll see. And so yeah, I've got a couple set out there. Working on the blowgun, and what else? I don't know. It's kind of hard to get kind of fired up about any kind of prep or stuff like that, because it's just me. I don't really want to, but it's doing something. Maybe somebody could utilize it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with the AI and my beliefs on it. I think it is way more massive than we could even fathom. And I do believe it's running the show. Does it have its own consciousness? No, but it has the minds of billions of people. So, and it's just probably by the second, it's just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating, and then that compounds. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And then they want to attach consciousness to that. Yipes. I don't know how they want to work this. I mean, are they just keeping us around to build this thing, and then they can go ahead with the depopulation? Do they want to I can't see them wanting to mix their consciousness with ours when they consider us lesser beings, right? I can't see that unless there's some kind of prison in singularity world, some kind of prison where they could put yours aside, but yet I don't know. Bizarre times, my friends, bizarre times. So, all right, I just wanted to run that past you guys, see what you thought. Robert, if you're listening to this, I got your seeds in the envelope. I just got to get a couple stamps, and I'll mail them off to you. And Ben, if you're there, what's up, brother? And everybody else, man, I pray everything's well. Working on prayer. I'm working on prayer. I got a cowboy up and just keep going. That's the only hope. I could totally see that, man. Totally see that. I don't know how to get to the point. I've been watching a lot of Precious testimonies and other testimonies, and I'm still as lost as ever, man. Still as lost as ever. But I guess just keep going, man. Just keep going. I'm in that mode. Just freaking keep going. because I don't want to even take another step, but it's just keep going, just keep going. Gonna be an end to this. All right, guys, man, love you all. Pray all's well, and I'll talk to you later. I didn't stop it there. By God, will you stop